But somehow the milk with the tryptophan in it calms me, and then there are times that I don't want anything. So they used to say, well, it depends upon what you've eaten, and you ate too soon before you went to bed. That's not true. Although if you ate a big meal and now you're going to bed, the food has to flow downward to your stomach. So don't lay down, because now you're going to have heartburn. So use common sense. But it really doesn't have much to do with your diet. It has to do with your mind and what's going on in your life. Or a bad movie. Or a scary television show. Or something you think you're not afraid of, but you should be. Because many of these shows use like vampires and werewolves and I don't know what else they use, zombies. And nothing like that exists in our physical world. But there are lower levels of the astral world where they do exist. And your soul basically knows this. So it gets frightened after a while of watching too many of these vampire, bad blow-up, kill the zombie movies or TV shows. So I'd be more selective in my TV programming if I were you. I happen to be a fan of True Blood. I don't like the vampire stuff, but the politics of it and their message every year is really outstanding. It's very well written. We don't know what's going to happen this coming up season, but we do know that their lesson this year is the people who feel superior to everybody else are often the most inferior. They're the least kind, least tolerant, least gentle of beings. They're the worst of the worst. So stop thinking you're so hot when perhaps you're not. So nightmares can also deal with past life situations. I've had dreams my whole life of a drowning that took place back in the 1700s. I can tell you exactly what I was wearing. I can tell you that I had my hands on my daughter at that time, who I had two daughters in that lifetime. One of them is sitting here with me, and the other is no longer with us. She left her spiritual path. Not my fault. I blamed myself for a while, but there's nothing I could have done about it because I warned her when it was going to happen. When I get something psychically, I'm always right. It may not happen at the exact time frame that we think it's going to happen, but it does happen. So it can be dealing with a really traumatic event. You can be dreaming of being chased by villagers. You can be dreaming of being hung. You can dream of all kinds of things. I knew someone years ago who had dreams of being strung up on a tree and hung. Unfortunately, most people don't know how to tie a hangman's knot, which snaps your neck. They just know how to strangle you because they don't know what they're doing. That's a horrible death, a hanging. You may dream that you're in a fire, and maybe you were in a fire. You may dream that you've had a car crash. Maybe you just had a friend who had a car crash. Or maybe it's warning you to pay attention more and get off the bloody phone. I think it should be an automatic ticket. If you are driving and talking, there should be police everywhere, and they should pull your fanny over and give you a ticket for endangering somebody else's life. And sadly, it's like drunken driving. It's rarely the drunk that gets killed. It's the people in the other car or the children in the crosswalk. So, I'm opposed to all things that inhibit the accurate perception of your mind. That includes alcohol, includes drugs. And also, if you're on mind-altering drugs from your psychiatrist, I would have your internist review those drugs and discuss the side effects with your pharmacist. Because Xanax, for instance, is one of the worst drugs. It's one of the worst drugs you can ever get off. People who get off heroin with methadone find they can't get off the methadone because it's more addictive than heroin. So do yourself a favor, get off the heroin, don't get on the methadone. The drug companies just love that you're on the methadone because they make the methadone. That'll be another topic at another time, dealing with the drug companies. But I will tell you that all the medical people I've talked to said, no methadone. If they have a patient who is a heroin addict and they want to get off, they recommend a clinic for them to go to and never go on methadone. You don't want anything in your body that is going to negatively impact your mind. Going through life every day is enough of a difficulty, is enough of a stress. You don't need to be an alcoholic. If you think you're just calming yourself down, all you need to do is a few deep breaths. All you need to do is look at a nature show. All you need to do is sit and meditate. And that is one of the easiest things you can do for yourself. Because eventually, you'll be an alcoholic. You'll still have the same problems, but now you'll be an alcoholic. Or you'll be a junkie. So you want to keep your body clean and pure because it's the temple that houses your soul. Your body is carrying around a part of God. You got God inside you and outside you because your aura, your soul, is bigger than your physical body. That's what animals and children see very easily. That's why they say you can't fool animals or children, because they see your aura. They see your soul energy. They know if you're good or you're bad. And they'll cling to you, or they'll come to you even if they're strange to you. They don't know you. They're somebody else's dog or cat. I love that commercial, by the way, where the guy comes to work and the woman says, "I like your slippers." And he said, "They're not slippers, they're my cats." And they're two Himalayans strapped up. Basically, they've clawed themselves onto his pants because he gave them some kitty treat. I just love that commercial. It's adorable. Because I had a cat named Cuddles years ago, and when she was little, she used to do that. And sometimes I wasn't wearing slacks, and her little nails were scratching my legs to pieces. But you never want to take anything inside your temple, which is your body, that is negative. We'll discuss vegetarianism another time because we all don't need another hamburger. You know, there's something called Amy's Quarter Pounders that I have found. I'm not getting paid for this, but I got to tell you, those of you who think you can't live without meat, go to the natural food section in your supermarket and look for Amy's. They've got the regular size, quote unquote, hamburgers. They're veggie burgers, and they've got these quarter pounders. I defy you to tell the difference. You can put it on the grill, you can put it in your frying pan, put it on a bun, you're all set. So the idea is, if you want to dream, live your life kindly and graciously. And we're out of time, so we'll be with you next time. This is Linda Bennett with Metaphysically Speaking.